Grandpa Bill, story time with Grandpa Bill. It's Grandpa Bill's story time. Yay! Hi, I'm Grandpa Bill. Welcome to Grandpa Bill's story time. Come on in, make yourself comfortable, and we're going to sit down and read a good book. Okay, our book today is, let's see here, The Magic School Bus. So these are fun books. Butterfly and the Bog Beast. A book about butterfly camouflage. Ooh, this is going to be fun. It's always a fun time with Miss Frizzle and the Magic School Bus. Okay, here we go. Okay, being in Miss Frizzle's class is always surprising. She has a way of turning everything into exciting adventure, even picking a name for our class soccer team. We had exactly 6 hours before the biggest soccer game of the year, and we still didn't have a name or a mascot for our team. We need a mascot that's different, said Keisha. It has to be surprising that the other team won't know what hit them, added Carlos. She says, hey, isn't that Arnold's cousin Janet over there? Quick, let's find someplace to hide. Oh, that must be his cousin over there. Okay, let's see. Phoebe glanced at the book in her hand. It was all about butterflies and moths. I got it, she shouted with delight. We were all excited. What? We asked her. Phoebe spread her arms out like wings. The Walker Elementary butterflies! Suddenly we weren't so excited. You want to name our team the Butterflies? Ralphie asked. He sounded disgusted. And had a mascot that's small, added Wanda. And swattable, continued Tim. And beautiful, Keisha finished in her disbelief. We want to be a tough, talented team, not a pretty team. Just then Arnold, know-it-all cousin Janet, climbed down from the bleachers to join us. That's Janet. See, she looks a lot like him. I am your favorite cousin, right, Arnold? You're my only cousin, Janet. The butterflies. Janet put her hands on her hips. You want a mascot that's totally different? Asked Janet. Then get this. How about the Walker Elementary Bog Beast? It's so surprising they won't know what hit them, said Keisha. Wow, everyone thought that was a great idea. Everyone except Arnold, that is. What's a bog beast, he asked. Suddenly, we were surprised by Miss Frizzle flapping wings. She glided down from the ceiling, and she was dressed in a butterfly costume. A crafty question, Arnold, she said. Anyone know what a big bog beast looks like, Janet? Janet's face turned beet red. Well, it's probably... Dorothy Ann pulled out her notebook. According to my research, a bog is wet, soggy ground like a swamp. That was when Miss Frizzle got the time for a field trip look in her eyes. Seems to me then, she said, a swamp's a place to find a bog beast. To the swamp! Does the swamp have butterflies too? The swamp has all sorts of surprises. I just knew she'd say that. Another adventure. Yes, Miss Frizzle's always adventure. We all climbed aboard the magic school bus and fastened our seatbelts. We weren't surprised when the bus turned off the main highway and onto a small dirt road. We weren't surprised when it drove into a misty forest either. We weren't even surprised when the bus went right into a swamp, gargled, and turned into a swamp boat. Whoa, when you're in Miss Frizzle's class, you get used to things like that. There it is. Oh my goodness. Where the road ends, the adventure begins. Oh my goodness. The bus skimmed across the top of the swamp water. All around us, we saw trees and flowers. What is that place, Miss Frizzle? Asked Dorothy Ann. It's called the Butterfly Bog, replied Miss Frizzle. Just then a swarm of beautiful yellow butterflies took off from a branch. A blue jay flew down and snatched one of the butterflies in its beak. Some mascot, said Janet. If a blue jay can do that, what will the Bulldogs do to our soccer team? The Bulldogs were the team we were supposed to play. Whoa, I thought those butterflies were flowers. Look, Looks can be deceiving. Sometimes what is isn't. Sometimes what isn't is. Yeah, the flowers look like butterflies. Here's the blue jays. Did I hear the lunch bell? Come on, Liz, let's bag us a butterfly. Forget about it. She loves butterflies. The bus stopped at a small, moss-covered island. Here we are, announced Miss Frizzle. Bog Beast Landing. This was getting really exciting. Soon we'll probably see a real, live bog beast. Carlos covered the bus with moss, so it blended in with the surroundings. That way, the bog beast wouldn't be afraid to come close to us. We stayed very still and waited. According to my research, the best way to catch something is to use some kind of bait, whispered Dorothy Ann. And Janet knew exactly what kind of bait it was. She smiled and picked up her butterfly net. Like the biggest, juiciest butterfly in the bog, she said. She jumped off the bus and onto the island. Janet's idea to catch a butterfly really upset Phoebe. Janet, why don't you pick on someone your own size? She shouted after her. Miss Frizzle thought that was a great idea. She reached under the dashboard and pulled out her porta-shrinker machine. She aimed the machine at Janet and Liz and pushed the buttons. She was going to shrink them. A light flash, a loud bell rang. Ring! Oh, what's gonna happen? Unfortunately, the porta-shrinker rays bounced right off the shiny metal charm that Liz wore around her neck. The rays came right back towards the bus. The next thing we knew, not Janet and Liz were 2 inches high. Oh my goodness. Worst of all, the porta-shrinker had landed in the water. It was too wet to work. That's when we heard Miss Frizzle say something we thought we'd never hear. Oops, she said. That wasn't supposed to happen. Oh no. I don't care how small I am, declared Phoebe. I've got butterflies to save. She raced off to make sure the butterflies stayed away from Janet and Liz. Then we heard a scream. We ran to Phoebe's rescue. She was staring eye to eye with a long, snake-like monster. The monster seemed to be licking his chops. It looked hungry. Oh no! They're all shrunk now. They're all teeny tiny, see them? I think this is going to be one of those memorable field trips. Bog Beast! Oh, now they're all tiny. They're in the grass and stuff. Even Ralphie was scared. Okay, we've seen a bog beast, he said. Now let's get out of here. Ralphie tried to run off, but Miss Frizzle pulled him back. Not so fast, Ralphie, she said calmly. Since you've never seen a bog beast, how can you be sure that this is a bog beast? It looks more like a snake to me, said Wanda. Except it doesn't move like a snake, Phoebe pointed out. It moves like a caterpillar. Hey, it is a caterpillar, agreed Tim. A caterpillar pretending to be a snake? Carlo asked. And bigger than a praying mantis, too. So big it is? Gee, I wish I were bigger than a caterpillar. Just then a large green praying mantis landed in front of the caterpillar. It stood on its hind legs, blocking the caterpillar's path. The praying mantis was looking for lunch. Won't a praying mantis eat a caterpillar? Dorothy Ann asked Tim. The caterpillar reared up, wagged its head, and flicked something that looked like a tongue. The praying mantis hopped away quickly. Not if the praying mantis thinks the caterpillar is a snake, answered Tim. I get it, Carlos shouted. The caterpillar tricked its enemy by pretending to be something that it isn't. Aha. Then Wanda remembered we were still looking for the name of our soccer team. What if we call our team the Walker Elementary Caterpillars? We'll get laughed out of the game, answered Ralphie. Besides, if we don't get back soon, there won't be any game. But that wasn't our only problem. We still had to stop Janet from catching the butterflies. There was no way they were going to let her feed them to the bog beast. It's just not fair. Miss Frizzle, sobbed Phoebe, as we watched Janet swing her net at a big black and orange butterfly. I know, Miss Frizzle smiled. Janet doesn't stand a chance. What did the Frizz mean by that? Uh-oh. See, they're small, but she's not. She's still big. She's trying to get the butterflies. Janet lifted her net and grinned. This one's a real juicy one, she told Liz. But just as Janet tried to capture the butterfly, it seemed to disappear. Okay, wise guy, where are you? Janet called out. Wow, what a disappearing act. There it is, I think. See, it's making itself look just like the log. Yeah, using camouflage. The butterfly colored markings blended in with the log. Janet couldn't find it. I always say, if they can't see you, they can't eat you, Miss Frizzle laughed. Then she put her two fingers in her mouth and whistled. The bus pulled up. We all piled in. Phoebe was still watching Janet. Oh no, cried Phoebe. Janet is going to catch that butterfly. Uh-oh. You're mine, wimp, Janet called to the butterfly. She lifted her net up in the air, and Liz fell off Janet's shoulder. Splash! Liz landed in the mud. In all the confusion, the butterfly flew away. A big wave of brown mud washed over us. Swamp swill, yelled Carlos. Arnold had enough. That's it, he said. I'm unshrinking us before Jumbo Janet crushes us all. Arnold took Miss Frizzle's porta shrinker and pushed the button. Nothing happened. Then we heard a bell ring. Come on, Liz. A little mud can't stop us now. Yuck! Oh, they all got muddy. Oh, boy. What's that? Arnold asked. He sounded a little nervous. The dew-dinger, explained Mrs. Frizzle. It dings when the porta shrinker is too wet to work. Miss Frizzle handed a blow dryer to Arnold. Start drying, she said. Just then we heard a loud scream. Ah! That's Janet, Arnold told us. I'd know that scream anywhere. We tried to run to help her, but we were stopped in our tracks by a huge flash of black and yellow stripes. We were so surprised, we completely forgot about Janet. Woo, what is that? Bog beast, Ralphie yelled. Dorothy Ann looked at the black and yellow stripes. Then she looked at the butterfly in the moth book. It's not a bog beast, she said. It's a zebra butterfly. Ralphie blushed. Well, it just startled me with all its colors, that's all. See, even though butterflies are small and pretty, they're not wimps, Phoebe told Ralphie. They trick you, they hide from you, they even scare you. That's how they stay alive. There she is, a big old butterfly. Is she pretty? Now, everyone wanted our team to be the Walker Elementary Butterflies, except Ralphie. Never, he cried. I'll play for the other team before anyone calls me a butterfly. And with that, he walked away. Before long, we heard Ralphie yell. We found him hiding behind the root of a mangrove tree. It's a... Wanda laughed at Ralphie. Yeah, we know. It's a bog beast. Wanda looked up. Two huge black eyes stared back down at her. All of a sudden, Wanda wasn't laughing anymore. Nobody was. Bog beast! We all cried out. Oh! But it wasn't a bog beast at all. It was the buckeye butterfly. Those eyes aren't real, Phoebe pointed out. They just look like eyes to fool the enemy. Butterflies are pretty tricky and surprising. Just the things we wanted our soccer team to be. My, what big eyes you have. It looks like eyes. These kind of look like eyes too, don't they? All the better to fool you with, my dear. Makes yourself look scary, huh? Okay, Phoebe, you win, Ralphie said. We'll be the Walker Elementary Butterflies. Phoebe led us all in a cheer. Let's take our team to the skies, she shouted. Let's be Walker Elementary Butterflies, we cheered back. A big smile flashed across Miss Frizzle's face. If you insist, she said. We heard a loud whirring sound. The next thing we knew, we were flying around in a magic school bus. Fly! Woo! This isn't exactly what I meant. Oh, it turned into a butterfly. The whole bus. The magic school busserfly spread its wings and took off. It made a low humming sound as it flew. So what do you think, class? Miss Frizzle asked us as we came in for the landing. It's certainly a new sensation, answered Dorothy Ann. Just then a giant face appeared in front of us, and it didn't seem friendly. It's Janet! It's different! It's surprising! What is Janet gonna do? Well, as I always say, when a butterfly do as a butterfly do. I don't like the sound of that. Janet thought we were a butterfly, a big juicy butterfly. She wanted to catch us. Janet's gonna feed us to the bog beast, screamed Ralphie. The butterfly flew away from Janet, but Janet was a lot bigger than we were. She gained on us, cried she said. She's gaining on us, cried Keisha. Miss Frizzle, what should we do? Wanda asked. Phoebe had an idea. Is there a button that makes us blend into our surroundings like real butterflies do? She asked, pointing to the dashboard. Miss Frizzle nodded. You might check for the camouflage box, if you can find it. Phoebe reached under the dashboard and opened the camouflage box. There were a lot of buttons. Phoebe couldn't be sure which one would make us blend in with our scenery. Oh no, which one is it? She asked. Suddenly, Janet's net came down on top of us. Come on, Phoebe, you're our last hope, cried Ralphie. Phoebe wasn't about to give up. Think butterfly, she mumbled to herself. That's it, I'll surprise her with colors. She flipped the color switches on the camouflage box. The bus turned red, yellow, orange, and blue. And now to trick her with eye spots, Phoebe exclaimed. With a flick of the switch, the bus grew huge, bulging eye spots. I knew I should have stayed home today. Arnold, just keep drawing the porta shrinker. Ah, see, look at it. Janet reached under the net and grabbed for us, but the bus opened its wings really wide. Janet looked one look for the bus's bright colors and bulging eye spots and screamed, ah! She thought the bus was a bog beast. Janet jumped back, lifting her net with her. We were free! Oh, you're something like a monster. What a field trip, said Arnold as he bounced down onto the seat. He landed right on top of the porta shrinker. Presto! The magic school bus changed back to its real size. Janet spotted the bus and ran to us. I saw the bog beast, she shouted. Did it look anything like a butterfly? Tim asked. He showed her a picture that he had drawn of our bus as a butterfly. Boy, was Janet shocked to find out that we were the bog beast. Miss Frizzle explained that a bog beast can be whatever you want it to be. In this case, it happened to be a bog beast butterfly. The Bulldogs couldn't believe it when they saw our mascot, but they were even more surprised when the bog beast butterflies won the soccer game. Phoebe had been right all along. Butterflies weren't just small and beautiful, they were full of surprises. As I always say, there's no surprise like butterflies. Yay! What a good book. Always a good time with Miss Frizzle and the Magic School Bus. Thank you for sharing this book with me today. Come back again for more stories with Grandpa Bill. Goodbye.